just some few more concepts which we are going to add to our transformer design or the core design, and then I'm going to do one numerical from this chapter number 7 from your R.K. Agarwal book, and hopefully the core design is then complete from my side, and then I will be moving on towards the winding design. Okay, so today we are talking a little bit more leftover details of the core design of a transformer, and then we will do one numerical. So before I proceed on, in the last lecture I told you this was the table number 7.2 over here, and this table has actually two ratios over there. If I write them down over here, the first ratio is equal to the net core area divided by the area of the circumcircle. And since net core area was actually something a net or AI, we use two variables. In this book we are using AI, and the area of the circumcircle, as we all know, this was pi d square by 4. Now this A net was certainly some equal to some relationship, and that relationship was based on that either you are using a 2-step core or a 3-step core or a 4-step core and all that. Now if you had a 2-step core over there, which we proved in the last lecture also, that if you had a 2-step core, this A net or AI was equal to, and just taking straight away from the equation over here, so this was equal to 0.56 d square. So a 2-step core was approximately taking this much area. So if you had a diameter over there of the circumscribed circle over there, that was d over here, and the net core section was equal to this form. And the total gross area, the gross area, or you can call it only AG, this was equal to, I'm taking it from here, this was equal to 0.618 d square. Now when you are going to convert this gross area into the net area, you are actually multiplying this gross area or AG simply by 0.9, where this 0.9 is actually the stacking factor which I told you. Now 0.9 is not fixed, it can be changed in any equation, whatever you are working on it. So the actual formula which you need to actually remember it for a 2-step core is actually 0.618 square. I'm taking this one from page number 217 of chapter number 7, R.K. Agarwal book. Now, so coming back to this one, so this ratio over here, A net, so if I write down this A net equal to, so this is actually equal to 0.56 d square divided by pi d square by 4, and if we just make this a little bit more, so this is equal to 0.71. Now what this ratio is telling me, this is a generic ratio now, this ratio is telling me that 71% of the area inside the circumscribed circle is iron. So if you have in the numerator, you have A net, that is actually the total net iron. So this is actually telling you that 71% of the area of that one is actually iron over here. Now a similar kind of a ratio in which instead of having the net area, you have the gross area in the numerator. So if you have a gross area and you divide it by the again the area of the circumcircle, so this time you are going to have 0.618 d square and divided by again the pi d square by 4, that is actually the generic formula, and so you have this ratio equal to 0.79. So this is easily telling you that 79% is actually 79% of the circle is actually the material over there. That material can be iron also, and that material can be the silicon resin that is actually between the lamination. So you can see 8% is a huge area, so that 8% is actually being taken up. But again, this 8% is not fixed. This is dependent upon that 0.9 stacking factor. It can even less than that if you are going to have 0.95 stacking factor over there. So if you are a very bad manufacturer, your material is not good, and the laminations are also not uniform. This is very important. Maybe in the next few classes I will open one transformer in front of you. If the laminations are not uniform, so when you are going to stack them together, there will be some air gap. That air gap also contributes to a little lower stacking factor over there. So stacking factor is again dependent upon your workmanship, your material also, and certainly how you are stacking those sheets over there. So this one, always in short, just going to turn this off. Sorry about it. Okay, so you have this one, the two ratios over here. One ratio is based on the net core area divided by the area of the circumcircle over here, and this one is the gross area divided by the area of the circumcircle over here. Now, these two areas over here, now if I just take this table over here, which is actually for a two-step core. So if you have a two-step core, let me call this area over here as AI divided by pi d square by 4. So this two-step core, according to this table, this is equal to 79. And when you are over here, this is sorry, this is not 79. This is 71. And the next one is the AG divided by pi d square by 4. So this value is 79. And if you have a three-step core, this factor comes out to be, I guess, if I'm not wrong, this is 75, and the next one is 84. This is three-step core. So if you have then a four-step core, this factor goes on to 78, and the next one goes on to 87. So these are, as you go on to increase your number of steps. And I have given you the assignment that you have to prove it for a three-step course, that the ratio of this AI divided by pi d square by 4 is actually equal to 75 over there. And then, you have to prove it for this 84, and then based on your second factor, you have to prove it that it is either 0.9 second factor, so this is 75 or whatever value. So this is the simple table. Just wanted to actually elaborate these two ratios over there. In your exam, please remember, this is a very important point, net area and gross area. Almost every time students do this mistake. Net area or net iron area is that area in which iron is involved. Gross area is that area which is including the iron and including the silicon resin used over there. So this is very important. Don't mix these two, because if you are going to mix this, then certainly the next calculations are going to be wrong over there. Okay, now coming on to the next thing, which is very, very important, that whenever a transformer is going to be made, if I'm supposedly making a single phase transformer, let me make a single phase transformer. From the front side, I'm just making it in a two-dimensional case over here. This is a core type transformer. Now, this portion, let me use another color on this one. This portion over here, this one, which is a shaded, on which the windings are actually going to be made, these are called the limbs of the transformer, on which actually the windings are going to be placed. This portion over here, which is this portion from here to here, here this is going to be called as the yoke of your transformer. Now yoke is a term which you have used in your DC machine or your AC machines. Now a yoke definition is very simple, that portion of the magnetic material that is completing the flux path. This yoke is completing the flux path. Now traditionally I always ask the questions in machines as well. If you have supposedly a simple ferromagnetic material like this, just for example, and I have a winding on this one. This is supposedly, you can call it the low voltage winding or the primary winding, and then this you have a secondary winding. So you have NS number of turns here, NP number of turns. Is this a transformer? This ferromagnetic material, just this bar, you have primary winding, you have secondary winding. It's a 1-to-1 ratio transformer, assumingly. So you are applying supposedly 220 volt here. Will you get on your voltmeter 220 volts over here? Why? Flux path is not there. Theoretically, yes, you can call this one as a transformer. Reason behind, because there is actually a flux going to flow over here. But since it is flowing through the air, the reluctance of the air is going to be so much that there is actually going to be very small amount of flux. So what is going to happen, that you are only going to get a very small value of rate of change of flux over there. So that small value of flux is not going to induce a EMF inside that. Now here comes that point which actually explored in the second or third lecture, that I told you that there is a minimum number of turns required to produce that amount of flux inside the core. Here turns are there, but since the material is not good, it has a very large reluctance over there, or the path of the material is having a large reluctance of the air, so the flux is not flowing over there. Because here in this case, our total is equal to reluctance of the air plus the reluctance of the material which you are using over here. So when they are both coming in series, so technically you can call this a transformer, but practically it is not going to work. It is going to be just like maybe 1 or 2 volts maybe available over there, or maybe not even that over there, because air is a very bad conductor of the magnetic flux. So you need a yoke which is actually going to be completing the flux path. Now question over here is that, which is very important, that should the yoke be longer as required, or should the yoke be based on some principle? Now over here there are two topologies. One topology is being used by this book, the other topology is being used by the other book, that is Indrajit Dasgupta. Now listen to this very carefully. Now if supposingly you are going to design a machine, and if supposingly, this transformer, first of all winding which you are going to place is certainly going to be the low voltage winding. So this low voltage winding is going to be placed over here. So this low voltage winding will take this much area. Now after that, this much area, you are going to have the high voltage winding, and this is going to take a little bit more area over here like this, and this is going to be the the high voltage winding over here like this. Now this has taken a little bit of diameter over there. Now on the other limb, same criteria over here. You will have first of all the low voltage winding, and I don't need to repeat it over here that the low voltage windings are going to be made first. Why? Because they are closer to the core. The core is at neutral over there. So we don't want a flashover. Flashover means that we don't want the dielectric in between the core and the winding to actually conduct electricity. We want it to be a perfect insulator. If on the other hand we use a high voltage winding, that is going to allow some partial discharge current over there. Now what is partial discharge current? You will have an idea more in your next semester course of high voltage engineering, but overall at present, partial discharges current are those currents which are always flowing through any material. Either they are conductor or insulator over there. Even this table over there, if I have an 11 kV voltage applied at this point and the other point over here, there is going to be still a current flowing over here. But we can't detect that current. Maybe that current is just microamperes or nanoamperes. So any insulator is not a perfect insulator. This is very important in electrical engineering or the course of high voltage engineering, which you are going to do in the next semester. There is no as such concept of an insulator. Every insulator still conducts. So similarly in a transformer, if I am going to place a high voltage winding closer to the core, so what will happen? Through the enamel, through the some asbestos sheets, it will flow some current over there. So keeping the high voltage winding away from it, I am actually trying to reduce that partial discharges over there. So over here, this partial discharge over here, the high voltage winding, I am going to place it over here like this one. So this is the high voltage winding which has been placed. Now there are two design criteria. One design criteria is this, that you don't decide the yoke. Leave it up till the windings are designed. Because over here, as you can see, the windings are going to be some thickness based on the number of turns, based on how much thick wire you are going to use over there. So first of all, design the winding, see how much thickness the windings are taking, and certainly there is going to be one thing very important which I missed over here. One thing very important, there is always going to be a oil duct in between over here. This one. This green shaded portion will be totally empty from the both sides. So this will be an oil duct. So one design procedure is this: design your LT winding or low voltage winding, keep the oil duct, then design the high voltage winding and find out how much diameter it is. Now based on that diameter, since that diameter is going to be same on each limb, this limb, then When you have designed that two limbs over there, or even the third limb if it's a three-phase transformer, then keep this distance equal to some threshold value. Now this threshold value is dependent upon two factors. This factor is dependent upon the voltage which you are applying. If it's an 11 kV, then this means that there is a potential difference in these two windings, because these two windings are 120-degree displaced from each other. It's a three-phase transformer. So you have to keep into consideration that you are going to have a partial discharge in between these two, because you are keeping them close. Second concept is this, that this distance should be some adequate value so that oil can still flow and cool down the winding. So this is the first design procedure. You have the low voltage winding designed first, you have the low high voltage designing first over there, then based on some threshold value, you can call this value as X or whatever at present, and then based on that X and all that, when you have found out the true distance, now here from here you can find out this yoke length. So the design of the yoke comes at the very end when you have actually designed the limbs and the winding. This is what design procedure which is being followed by Indrajit Dasgupta, and this is much practical over there. This is much practically proven, and this is being used in Pakistan. The second design procedure which I have given you in the second lecture also, and this is also in this book over there, I told you that this was the area of the window. Now this area of the window, as I told you previously, this area of the window was based on some height and the height of the window and the width of the window. And what was the height of the window? If I go back on my diagram over here, let me use another color. So if I go back on my diagram, this distance was going to be the height of the window, and from here this distance was the width of the window. Now this book says over here that if you are going to design it over there, keep this height of the window divided by the width of the window equal to a factor of 2 to 4. Okay? It's again a factor which you have to choose. Now the disadvantage is this, that when you have designed your already that height of the window has to be 2 times more than the width of the window. Okay? What is the width? Width is certainly this one, height is this one. Now give me an answer over here. अगर मैं हाइट ऑफ द विंडो ज़्यादा कर दूँ, बहुत ज़्यादा कर दूँ, उससे नुकसान क्या है? और अगर मैं विड्थ ऑफ द विंडो बहुत ज़्यादा कर दूँ, उससे नुकसान क्या है? Think on it from the transformer side. This is a single phase transformer, but you can extend that answer to the 3 phase also. जी, अगर मैं height of the window बहुत ज़्यादा कर दूँ, which means, let me just make a transformer here again. If I have a transformer, I make it something like this. I'm again making a single phase, so don't confuse it. You can extend that answer to the 3 phase also. Here, the height of the window is this one, and the width of the window is this one. Another case in which, supposingly, change this color, I have another window, another transformer in which I am making it more width-wise. Here the width is very large and the height is small. Now I am not taking that this value over here. I am just exploring what is the advantage and disadvantage of each, these two types. क्या होगा? किसका? किस केस में? If you are increasing the width, you are actually making it so when the windings are going to be made on this one over there, you will have more fluxes flowing like this over here. So leakage flux or leakage reactance, because leakage flux, if you remember, leakage flux always used to make that JXP and JXS over there. XP for the primary, JXS for the secondary winding. So making it more elongated, you are actually increasing the leakage reactance, and you are also increasing the length of the yoke. Okay? So you are increasing the length of the yoke also. So actually practically you are increasing the reluctance of your core. So when the reluctance of the core is being increased, you are actually effectively having more core losses. More core is being used, more core losses. Okay? You have more weight also. Now in this side over here, when you are talking about this one, a little elongated one, the disadvantage is this, that it's a very long transformer. The windings are going to be like this one on this end, and maybe the secondary winding, if I make it by some other color over here, they are like this over here. जी इसमें कोई disadvantage है या advantage है? What advantage we know? It's a good flux linkage. They are closer to each other, so it will be having less leakage flux, less core losses. But there is disadvantage also. What is that? जी, what is the disadvantage? क्या नहीं होगा? Cooling area is just one factor over there, because whole of this transformer has to go inside the tank. The tank will require more oil. The tank will require more number of fins or elongated, and it has to move the whole length over there, sorry, the whole height of the tank. So technically you have to take a trade-off in it. That's why this factor of height of the window divided by the width of the window, you have to keep it something 2 to 4. Okay. Technically it is better that if your value is 3, okay, the book is also telling you that you have to use something a value of 3, but you can use 2 also, you can use 4 also, that's totally up to you. Now this is the second design way. Now when you are fixed, supposingly I wanted to design a transformer and my height of the window divided by the width of the window is fixed at 3. इसका फायदा क्या होगा? I know one value, okay, I know that height of the window is equal to 3 times my width of the window. Now I can fix my height and I can say, okay, this has to be something like 800 mm or something 900 mm. I can now design that, okay, in this length I have to accommodate how many number of turns? 1000 number of turns. Supposing, just for example. Now 1000 number of turns, maybe they don't come in the whole height. So you will have to do 2 layers. Now when you are going to do 2 layers, you cannot do something like this. So you started from here, this was the first layer done, and then you have to go to the second layer. Now the second layer should reach the end way from where you started, because you can't have uneven. And this unevenness will be more severe if you are having a low voltage winding being done first. Because on the low voltage winding you have to keep the high voltage winding. So technically the layers should be uniform. So this method which is being used by this book, in which you are having the height of the window fixed, is a little difficult to adjust, because now you have constraints. आपने पहले से उसको constraint कर दिया, यदि आपने इससे ज़्यादा height नहीं रखी, तो now आप क्या करोगे उस केस के अंदर? ओके, आप कहोगे एक लेयर में नहीं आ रहा, ओके, नाउ व्हाट वी डू, चेंज द कंडक्टर साइज और समथिंग लाइक दैट. इफ इट वाज समथिंग अ कंडक्टर लाइक दिस वन, square shape, what you will do then, maybe you can have a rectangular shape. That will change the orientation of the whole winding. ये हम डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. I'm just giving you answer at present. Then we will discuss the winding design in detail. So the second way, or the second procedure being given by this book, in which you are fixing the height and fixing the width of the window and taking any value over there, you land in a little bit trouble over there, because you are under some constraints over there. The other way which is being used by the Indrajit Das Gupta book, and which is also more practical, is that because in this you design a winding, you keep it in some way, it's uniform over there, and then you design the tank and all that stuff over there. That is there. But when you are designing a very small transformer, you don't have much liberty to change your over there, because आपको manufacturer ने बता दिया, okay जी इतना बड़ा tank है, इतनी है, इसी के अंदर रखना है. Then you are under some constraint. So this is not that bad. I'm just trying to tell you this thing. You may be under a constraint over here that the height of the window cannot be this one, width of the window can't be more than this one. So you are under some constraint, then maybe you have to design the winding, you have to differ the winding. Maybe you are not using a square conductor, you are using a circular conductor over there. Then you again become very difficult. Because square conductor, it has less leakage flux. Because when you are going to arrange conductors like this is first, second conductor, third conductor, fourth conductor, there is actually no air flux. But when you are going to have a circular conductor like this placed over here, so you can see now there are air gaps here. So leakage flux is a very, very important factor for any transformer designer, and especially distribution side. Why? Because distribution side transformers, they are going to work 24 hours a day. So current is always flowing through JXP and JXS. So you have to reduce down their losses, and you have to keep that JXP and JXS in some considerable limits. And distribution transformers, they should be exhibiting an efficiency of more than 95%, at least in Pakistan. Maybe if it was being designed in something in Europe or US, maybe they have some stringent rules of 98 or 99% here. So the height of the window and the width of the window is decided by two cases, either by the full design of the winding, or either it is initially designed based on some transformer over here. Now when you have designed your height of the window, supposingly you have fixed that height of the window and the width of the window, the next thing possible which you have to design is actually the yoke. Now, question over here, this limb which you had designed, now see this very carefully, this is very important thing. Now I am seeing it from the top. Okay, I am seeing this transformer, this single phase from the top over here. Okay, so when I am seeing it from the top, supposingly it's a two-step core, and because it's easy to make me over here. So first of all, a circumscribed circle, and in this circumscribed circle, let me use this is one limb, and when I have the second limb, this is the two limbs. You are seeing it from the top now. This is very important. Okay? So this is on the top now. Now you have to join these two limbs by the yoke. Okay? Now there is one way. Make the yoke also circular in shape by steps. Okay? Just like you have done the limb. But there is no advantage of making it circular. Why? Because there is no winding going to come on it. So we don't want to waste the material. So the easy way around is this. If I use another color over here, that you join these two by the highest value of the stem. By the highest value I mean, you know this width. This was A, if you remember the last lecture. And you also know this length is the same A over here. So this is from the top, you are going to join it. So the yoke is going to be just a rectangular piece of lamination. Again, it will be lamination. This is very important. If I draw this laminations inside this one, let me just draw that laminations also. So if I have this lamination, supposingly these are laminations over here. Like this. And similarly, those laminations are going to be on this side, because you are seeing it from the top. Okay? You are seeing it, the transformer from the top over there, and this green color is the yoke, and that's why when I'm going to make this with green color over here, these will be also laminations over here. I hope you are getting the idea, because there is no actual any diagram in this book. That's why I'm drawing this one. This is the top view of your transformer. This is the limb. This is also a limb. This is top view, and certainly this is the yoke. Now, since this is a two-dimensional picture in front of you, the yoke over here is rectangular or square in nature. That I have still decided on this one, because this length is A. Now when I am going to decide on the yoke area AY, ठीक है, अभी तक मैंने AC डिसाइड किया था लास्ट लेक्चर के अंदर, that was the area of the core. Now when you are deciding AY, which is actually the yoke area, deliberately you are going to keep this 25 to 40%, sorry on that one, okay, 25 to this is actually 25 to sorry, 15 to 25. Sorry on that. So this is 15 to 25% of the area of the core. Why? तो बताएगा योग का एरिया हम जानबूझ के ज्यादा रख रहे हैं. Why? We can keep it the same, but what is the disadvantage or advantage of keeping it? Disadvantage, certainly you are putting in more material, more cost is involved and all that stuff, but reluctance will be less and B would be small in the yoke. So if you are designing a transformer supposedly a little bit into the saturation region for the limb, in the yoke keeping a little bit higher value of the area means same flux is passing, but phi is equal to B dot A. Increasing a little bit area means that B will be a little reduced now. So the core losses will be a little reduced in the yoke, because yoke is not of our importance. It's just a requirement to complete the flux path. So we are keeping it 15 to 25% larger than the area of the core. What was the area of the core? The area of that red color stamps over there. That was the net iron area or gross area, whatever you want to take it over there. So when you are designing this AY would be equal to the height of the yoke, which is certainly not visible in this one because I am seeing from the top. Height would be this distance. If I remember this one, if I take this on this one, the height of the yoke would be this one. Okay? And the depth of the yoke, so AY is equal to HY into dy, where dy is the depth of the yoke. And this depth of the yoke, dy, is going to be equal to the length of the largest step in core. And what is that length? That length over here is A. Because you are seeing from the top, that is A. हम A से बढ़ा, A से अगर हम A plus something कर दें, कोई फायदा नहीं है. Reason? Because वहाँ तो flux ही नहीं है. Flux A area में से A length में से ऊपर आ रहा है. Yes, we can increase the height of that yoke so that now you have lesser area, lesser flux density inside the yoke. So whenever you have to design a yoke, first thing first, find out the core area or actually the net iron area over here. Depending upon your design, you want to keep it 15 to 25% more, increase it AY, then find out what is the length of the largest step in the core, that is actually A over here. Keep it that one equal to the depth of the yoke, and you know already AY, you can find out HY. D. Okay, I will explain. So this way you can have the AHY found out over here. This is the yoke. So normally, if I can just a little bit do a little bit one, let me go on some maybe Google images and I can give you. I had actually that. Let me show you. Okay, this is a good picture. Here you can actually have an idea with me. And one thing very important, sadly, India, again our enemy number one or whatever, they are very good at transformer design. They are very, very good. In fact, if you will go on and search on YouTube or maybe Google as well, you will find tens of manufacturers who are even manufacturing power transformers. In fact, even if you, the next semester when you will go, you have still gone to the high voltage lab, you have gone there. High voltage equipment is very much manufactured in India also. They are now manufacturing it for the last 10-15 years. They are very best at it. So you can see now over here, this transformer over here, this is circular. मैं चाह नहीं रहा हूँ कि इस बंदे की शिकायत करूँ चेयरमैन साहब को. मैं इसको एक हफ्ते से मना कह रहा हूँ. He is not paying heed to my is the worst part. But I can't do anything on this one. Anyway, the recording is there, so you can go with on this one. You can see this one is the limbs are circular in shape. The image is not that clear. One thing very important, if you can see a little bit, these are some rods over here. This rod, that rod, and that rod. So बताया कि ये rods क्यों लगाए हैं? क्या कहते हैं? चलो, नाम है डिफरेंट. निकालेगा मतलब क्या? और कोई नहीं. One thing very important which I will discuss most probably at near the midterm, every transformer or the winding, whenever it is working at 50 Hertz, a low frequency transformer, those transformers are always under the effect of some motion force on the winding. कभी आपने एक ट्रांसफार्मर विच इज ब्लोन आउट, इसकी वाइंडिंग्स उड़ चुकी हो, कभी देखा हो, तो यू विल विटनेस ऑन दैट वन कि ट्रांसफार्मर की वाइंडिंग या तो अंदर की तरफ स्क्वीज करेंगे when it is short circuited, or they will blow outward, taking the tank also with them. Why is that so? Whenever there is a short circuit, okay, a huge amount of current, something like 5 to 10 times the rated value flows, which means that the copper cannot withstand it, the losses will be so huge, it will be gone. Now, if you remember your machine's force, DC machine, I am talking about Fleming's left hand rule, there were three conditions for motor phenomena. One was magnetic field, the second was the conductor placed in the magnetic field, and the third thing was the current flowing inside that conductor. You have all those three things available over here. So the windings, they continuously move over there. So what happens when a short circuit happens, the forces are either going to crush the core, or they are going to be made in such a way that they are going to blow out outwards. The same thing happens for the core also. Now I am talking with respect to the core. The core has eddy currents. Those eddy currents are inside the magnetic field, which is already there being produced, B over there. So those cores or laminations, they are also moving or vibrating. Okay? There is a specific word used for it. I am not going to use that word here. Search that word. Okay? That movement of the core laminations, it has to be confined, because otherwise it is constantly vibrating. What will happen? The windings will lose them, and when the windings will lose them, you will have air flux, which is leakage flux. So a transformer, it has to be intact over there, certainly the core, the windings also. And if you have seen a transformer के पास जाओ, and it is not that corona noise or audible corona which I am talking about, the transformer is also vibrating a little. I am talking about those household transformers near your homes or industrial areas. There is a slight noise also coming out, and if it's an old transformer, it has lost some screw tightening or whatever that effect over there, so you will see that transformer is a little bit vibrating also. Or if you have now, a very big example, अगर आपने अपने घरों में UPS के ट्रांसफार्मर्स देखे होंगे, they are square wave transformers basically. आपके यूपीएस में से एक हल्की सी वाइब जब ऑन होता है यूपीएस पे आवाज आ रही होती है आपके छोटी सी, that is actually that transformer vibrating over there, because it is just a local made transformer. It's working at square wave also, so the transformer is also vibrating a little bit over there. Okay. So whenever the transformer is being made, you have to make it compact. You don't want to make it lose the windings or the core or whatever. So the transformer is fastened together by this iron plates or whatever you can call it. Okay, it's still not that good, but anyway. So these are some transformers. Please have a habit of it. Since I don't have some visible pictures over there, I still have them, but you can just go through this on Google Images, and I guess you can get a very good idea that what I am talking about. You can see this is a shell type transformer over here where my mouse or cursor is going. You can see these are three windows. This is a shell type transformer. These are the three core types. You can see over here, this is a core type where you have three limbs over there. This is a single phase transformer. You can see this is a core type, this is a shell type, and you can see again those fish plates over there which are being applied over there. And if you are working on a very small transformer, this is very important, listen this very carefully. If you are working on a very small transformer, then your laminations, they are not made circular in shape, or the laminations, the core are not made circular. Normally what you do, you make that one in this shape, either EI, EE, L or UI. Now if you can see one, the EI or EE, they can be used for shell type transformer, because here the laminations are going to be, the windings are going to be in the center. And if you see this LL or UI shape, here the windings are going to be on this side and this side, and on this side and this side. So there are different ways over here. Okay, so you can either make by this laminations or core type laminations. There is also another one lamination form which can be made by either an F1. So that F1, if you remember, so this is the F1. So this is called as the FF type laminations over here. Okay. So different shapes, you can cut from any different shape over there, so you can call it as the FF or whatever. This can be done over here. Ji, any questions with this? दोबारा? हाँ, ये मैंने गैप बीच में जानबूझ के रखा है अभी, ये सिर्फ आपको दिखाने के लिए रखा है. प्लीज, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये मैंने जानबूझ के रखा है, अदरवाइज दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ शेल टाइप. लेट मी मेक अ शेल टाइप. ठीक है, एंड नाउ यू कैन कट इट लाइक दिस. So actually में आपने वाइंडिंग्स कहाँ करनी है? You have to make the winding on the central limb. Low voltage winding first, low voltage winding first, and then afterwards supposedly the high voltage winding. I am not going with the sandwich winding. I am going with the radial winding or the concentric winding. So अब ये winding आपने करनी कैसे है? ये winding आप अलग से पहले करके रखोगे, and then afterwards each lamination is going to be stacked together. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि लेमिनेशन स्टैक की आपके पास आ गई है, आप पहले तार ले रहे हो लो वोल्टेज वाइंडिंग की, उसमें से गुजार रहे हो, फिर एक गुजार रहे हो. इट्स वेरी टेडियस वर्क. सो द लेमिनेशंस आर कट. They are cut in either shape of EI, UI, LF or whatever shape over there. But this is only for the small transformer I am talking about. But when you are going towards a big transformer, let me show that picture also. This is very important. Okay, see this thing. This is 3 limbs with mitred joints. कोई मुझे बताएगा? I hope everyone can have a look on this one. I hope it is visible. Where is that picture? No. Come on. Yes, okay, this one. जी, कोई बताएगा इसका क्या फायदा है? इसकी कटिंग इस तरह से है. What is the advantage of having it cut like this? फिटिंग वैसे भी हो सकती है, अगर आप इसको वैसे फिटिंग इसकी ऐसे भी हो सकती है. इफ आई हैव समथिंग core like this, I am making a 3-phase core type again, and like this. जी, नुकसान क्या है? Compare this one with this one. What is the advantage over there? Certainly, the name is called as mitred joint core. क्या? जी, तो बताइए advantage क्या है इसका? Cutting this one at the edges like this, instead of straight lines, they are wedges shape. If you have some cut like this, what is happening? See this very carefully. Flux lines, they are assuming or they are flowing over here like this. When they have to enter another sheet, and this sheet is cut like this over here, they are at 90 degrees incident over there. So they are going to take a lot of losses to bend them. You are going against the grains which are inside the material. If you remember, what was the material? That was cold rolled grain oriented silicon steel. Now, instead of cutting it like this, if I have the core shape something like this, now when the flux is going to flow, that flux, when it is going to flow, it is going to flow like this, like this, like this. So the core losses are reduced when you have matrix type of joints over here like this. Okay? Because the silicon steel sheet, there is a grain that is embedded on it. अगर आप उस फ्लक्स की डायरेक्शन में फ्लो करवाते हैं, you have the left losses. अगर आप उसके परपेंडिकुलर फ्लो करवाएंगे फ्लक्स को, then you are going to have more losses, because the material is designed in such a way that it will allow the flux flow like this. But if you will try to enter the flux perpendicularly, you will have more losses over here. So this type of core is called as matrix joint core. It can be used for the core type or shell type. It's totally up to you. But again, yes, it is going to have a lot of wastage also, because you are cutting near the edges, so certainly it is going to have a lot of losses over there. Acha ji, now when you have done this core over here, you have designed the yoke also, you have found out what is the area of the yoke also, you have found out the height and all that. The next big thing is that you have to now find out the overall dimensions of the transformer. So if you have a first single phase transformer and its core type, so from the center of this core to the center of the other limb, from limb to limb, this distance is D, and from this point to this point, this is the width of the transformer, and from here to here, this is the height of the transformer. This to this, we have already found out this is equal to the height of the transformer. And next thing, which is very important when you are going to have the windings done. Now when you are going to do the winding, listen to this very carefully. Certainly the windings are going to take some distance out, and there is going to be a circumscribed circle over there. If it's a two-step core or a three-step core, there will be a circle. That circle will be a little bit larger than the actual dimension from the side. So this distance over here is called as D. That we already know, because it's the circle of the circumscribed circle. And this distance over here, from here to here, this is equal to A, because we know that stem dimension was the outer one. So based on all this A, D, and similarly on the other limb as well, let me draw it for the other limb. So this is equal to D, this is equal to A, and certainly from this side to this side, this is the width of the window. Please remember, from the circumscribed circle, पर्पल ही हो जाए, उससे नजर तो आएगा कुछ. At least it is visible. Okay, so at least I will not try to use that red color now. Okay, so you can see now over here the height, width, and the height of every dimension is there. Now based on these over here, for a single phase transformer, you can easily find out that your D, which is the total distance from the center of the limb to the other limb, this is equal to what? If you see from here, this is equal to WW plus D. Agreed? Okay? If you see over here, D is the circumscribed circle, the cylinder which is being used over there, on which the windings are going to be done. and dy, what was dy? This is the same dy which we done in the yoke part. This was equal to a, the largest stamping over there, and the h, that was the total height of the transformer. This is going to be equal to hw, the height of the transformer, plus g, किसकी इक्वल होगा, प्लस व्हाट, yoke की height multiplied by 2. Why? Because this distance, as we done just now, is equal to the height of the yoke. So this is going to be equal to 2 times hy. And the last but very important one, the width of the whole transformer core is going to be equal to d plus g. A या 2a? It will be A, because from a center to center that's D. So this will be equal to A. This is very important. These four equations. And making it now for a three-phase transformer. G, any question? WW is the width of the window, and that width of the window starts from the circumscribed circle from the one limb to the other. Okay? You can find this one from this one here to here, because this is the stamping. ठीक है, ये thickness of lamination यहाँ तक है, लेकिन ऊपर जो circumscribed circle है वो 2 स्टेप है, 3 स्टेप है, 4 स्टेप है, that is D. तो थोड़ा सा से बाहर है, यहाँ से लेके उस सिलेंडर तक, क्योंकि उस सिलेंडर के बाद ही वर्टिंग स्टार्ट होता है, जो सिलेंडर के है उसके ऊपर, ये circumscribed circle है. So then you have that equal to WW. Alhamdulillah. So now when you have a three-phase transformer, and that is core type, okay. I'm using this red color over here. G, again same thing, from the center of this to the center of this is equal to D, and again center to this is yellow नहीं है, ये शायद मैं red यूज किया था, येलो यूज करो, एक सेकेंड, नजर आ रहा नहीं, ये भी नजर नहीं आ रहा. Yeah, something. So this is D and this is D over here, and on the very same, again just like this previous one, this is a cylinder and this cylinder is equal to D. Similarly, just like over here, there is a cylinder. I'm not drawing the whole cylinder, you can do it yourself. And again on this one, this is the cylinder, and on this cylinder the diameter is D, and here over here this is equal to A, this is equal to A, this is equal to A, and here from this cylinder to this cylinder this is equal to the width, and from here to here this is equal to height, and the same dimensions repeat over here for the second width. And the exterior certainly, because this is the total exterior, from here to here this is the width, and from here till here this is the height. Same thing, just extension of the single layer transformer over here. Now what is the equation again over here? What is D equal to? Capital D equal to, कोई बताएगा? WW plus, now D plus D. So this is WW plus D over there, and again same dy or small dy, same thing, is equal to depth of the yoke. ये भी हमने पीछे क्या किया था, जहाँ हमने yoke डिस्कस किया था, ये डेप्थ ऑफ द योक ये चीज है, A की इक्वल है, A is the largest stamping over there, or the largest length over there, so that is equal to that form. So dy is equal to that one. Okay, and what is the height? G, what is height of the transformer equal to? Height of the transformer plus HW plus same thing. This will be the same equation just like this. So this will be equal to height of the window plus 2 times HY, and the last but very important one, W, that is the width of the transformer. G, what is the width of the transformer? Width of the transformer 2D plus A. So these are again the equations that are required for, these are for the three-phase transformer. G, any questions with this? Okay, let's do one numerical. Let me just select G beta. शेल टाइप के अलग होंगे, शेल टाइप के, हाँ सिंगल फेज के लिए, थ्री फेज को टाइप और शेल के लिए प्रैक्टिकली नो. वाई? बिकॉज कोर के अंदर आपके पास इस तरफ भी वाइंडिंग है, इस तरफ भी वाइंडिंग है, शेल में सिर्फ सेंट्रल लिम्ब पे वाइंडिंग है, तो वो थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट होंगी. ठीक है, they are there, they are actually included there. Just after this one, this is 7.23 article, and they have given the shell type one over there. They are given this type. ठीक है, तो वो भी आगे हैं, मैंने इसलिए अभी उनको टच नहीं किया. Okay, let's do this one numerical over here. I'm just writing down the value. अगर किसी का बुक नहीं है ना अभी तक है, चलो. This is example number 7.3. This is a 200 kVA transformer. It is a 6600/440 volts, three phase, mesh star connected. ठीक है, this is actually a star connected, so we are not concerned with that one over there. So this is mesh star connected diagram transformer. This is 50 hertz, and there are some data. अच्छा, one thing very important in any numericals or any design, अक्सर स्टूडेंट पेपर से कॉपी करने में डाटा ही गलती कर देते हैं. प्लीज मेक दिस अ हैबिट. अगर आपका क्वेश्चन पेपर आपको मिला है, प्लीज फर्स्ट थिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एक तो क्वेश्चन नंबर वो डालना है जहाँ पे क्वेश्चन पेपर पे है. इट्स बिकम वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू इवन चेक व्हेनेवर आइदर इट्स अ क्विज, मिड टर्म और फाइनल टर्म, व्हाटएवर इट इज. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सेकंड थिंग, if your question has ended at something the end of one page or center of one page, please do not start another question on the same page. Do it on the other one. आपने डाटा उस पेज पे लिखोगे, सॉल्व अगले पे करोगे, यू विल डू अ मिस्टेक. यहाँ डाटा बहुत ज्यादा है, एटलीस्ट 10 or 15 different parameters. So whenever you have a numerical in front of you, please write down the data, and that should be on a completely new page that is over there. And data over here is this, that the maximum flux density is equal to 1.3 Weber per meter square. Current density delta is equal to 2.5 ampere per millimeter square. The window factor, what is our window factor? KW is equal to 0.3. They have already given this. And the overall height, now this is one thing very important, the overall height of the transformer is equal to the overall width. क्या मतलब है इस क्वेश्चन का? This is a three-phase transformer. This means that H, capital H and W, they both are same. Okay? The overall height of the window or the height of the transformer and the width of the transformer, they both are same. So this is one condition given. The window area, that is AW, is equal to 1/4 times the core area. Okay? So 1.25 times the core area. So whatever core area I am going to get, you are going to multiply it by 1.25 times the core area. See, you have to calculate the overall core dimension. So the last thing is this, that you have to give me the core dimension. Now if you see the data which has been given to you, you have V, you have delta, you have the voltage, you have the S rating and all that factor over there. So here you can use the equation that we have done previously in the second lecture, and that equation, if you remember, that was S equal to 3.33 F into BM AI AW KW delta into 10 raised to power minus 3. Here in this equation, S is known, F is known, AW is known, AI is known, KW is known, AI is not known, AI is not known, the area. AW and KW are known, delta is also known. So here I can just plug in the value. This is a 200 kVA transformer. I don't need to write K over here because it's already 10 raised to power minus 3. So this is 3.33 into 50, and the BM comes out to be 1.3, which I've written over there. Now AI is the unknown quantity. What about AW? It has a relation over there, which means that it is equal to 1.25 times AI. Okay? So already it's now in AI factor. And then I have KW. What was KWG? That was 0.3, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And the delta. Now delta over here is equal to 2.5 amperes per millimeter square. This is an SI unit all over here. So I am going to multiply this 2.5 by 10 raised to power 6. Because all the equation is in SI unit, meters over there. And then the next one is 10 raised to power minus 3. Anyone with a calculator, please do this one. And please, one thing very important, this book is an Indian author. Do not trust anything. If you think it is wrong, it may be wrong. At least in the calculations area. Okay? Not from a theory perspective. If any calculation is wrong, it may be wrong. Okay? So don't trust anything. So that's why I'm asking you, use your calculator and ask me this value. You have to tell me what is AI square first, and then you have to tell me what is AI from here. G. This is 200 on this side, and this is 3.33 into 50 into 1.3 into 1.25 into AI square into 2.3. AI square 9.856 minus 4. This is going to be meter square. Now one thing very important, those who have the book, you will see over there in the book they have written AI square is equal to 9.856 and 10 raised to power minus 4 meter 4. मीटर के ऊपर भी उसने 4 लिखा हुआ है. you can't see the book actually. उन्होंने इसको भी यहाँ पे 4 लिखा हुआ है. This is wrong. एरिया की यूनिट हमेशा से they are square. So जी what is AI? अच्छा वो सब ठीक है सॉरी ठीक है वो मीटर स्क्वायर को उसने वो लिखा. सॉरी राइट है, सही है, इतना भी गलत नहीं है इसमें, मैंने उसको वो कर दिया. सॉरी. हाँ, आंसर क्या है जी? प्लीज इसको अंडर रूट ले लो. 3.139 10 raised to power minus 2 meter. Now you can convert this one into millimeter square or whatever you want to do it. It's totally up to you. Now the window area, that was equal to 1.25 times AI. Please give me this value. AW 3.924 minus 2 meter square. Now you have area, you have everything over here. This is AI. Now based on this AI, if I am assuming they have taken a 3-step score over there. Now instead of taking a 3-step code, let me just change something over here. I am going with a 4-step code. Okay? Let's just change this example over there. Now it is totally up to you. If in the question आपको टीचर ने या क्वेश्चन ने नहीं बताया कि आपने 3-step code यूज करना है, 4-step यूज करना है, it's totally up to you. But if it is deliberately told, then you have to use that value. So if you are using a four-step core, if you are using a four-step core, then the factor over here, let me write it down, AI is equal to KCD square. This factor for a four-step core is equal to 0.62 D square. I am taking this from the table. Okay? So over here AI is equal to KC D square, this is 0.62 D square. So from here D square will be equal to AI divided by 0.62, and what is AI? This is 3.139. So this is 3.139 into 10 raised to power minus 2 divided by 0.62. I hope I have not done any mistake. G, what is D over here? G, give me the answer, please. In the book example, they have taken a 3-step core. I have gone with a 4-step core, so it's a little bit better as compared to the other one. D, please this D. 0.225. आगे तक बताओ बेटा पूरा. 00. That's all. 896 meter. I am converting this one into millimeter, so this is going to be 225.00. So it's approximately this is going to be equal to millimeter. So this is approximately 225 millimeter over here. Now I know D. Okay? Now since this is a 3-phase transformer, and for a 3-phase transformer we have done this one over here, which means मुझे यहाँ पे D मिल चुका है. Okay? Now when I found out D over here, so this means that the overall width of my transformer, which is equal to W, is equal to 2D plus A. And what was D equal to? WW plus D over there. So I can put this D over here in this equation. So what happens to my W? W becomes equal to 2, and this is WW plus D plus A. So this is 2 times my window width plus 2 times D plus A. This is W. G, do I have window width over here? G, please tell me on this one. I have D over there, and do I have A over here? A कैसे निकलेगा? This is a 4-step core. G. So now for this you have to have a table over here. Over here A is equal to, this is written actually in this one, for a 3-step core they have written it approximately, this is equal to 0.9 D. Okay, because this is the 4-step core, so internal that is equal to 0.9 D. For 4-step core it will be different, but I am using this one since I don't have. Let me see on the table if this value is given. For a 4-step core, 99 is given. Okay, just let's use 0.9 or 0.92 D or whatever. This is for the 3-step core. For a 4-step core, let me call it 0.92 D, just for example. .92 D. So this means if I have this one as 0.92 D, so this means that my width is equal to 2 times window width plus this is 2D plus 2 times 0.92 D, this is 0.92 D. So window width is equal to 2 times the window width plus 2.92 D. See, what I can do to find out, I still don't know WW. D पता है मुझे. D I have the value. I have already that value. कितने इक्वल है जी वो D? Value is 225. What to do of WW? G. Any idea on this one? How I am going to find out? ये support है. G. And if you go with the height of this one, this will be equal to height of it plus 2 times your hy, and height of the window plus 2 times a, and this one is going to be equal to h of w plus 2 into 0.92d. So this is h of w plus this will be 1 point कितना है जी 0.92 into 2 1.8 1.84 I guess. I have the height and the width of the pole, but I don't know what is window width and I don't know what is the height of the window. जी तो बताएगा मुझे. If you go back on the screen on the data that was given, overall height of the transformer is the same as the overall width of the transformer, which means that I have just found out the two relations. One is 2W plus 2.92D, the other one is HW plus 1.84D, and they both are same. So here I can easily find out that if I write it as supposingly this is equation number B, this is equation number A, and supposingly this is going to be height of the window plus 1.84D equal to 2 times the window width plus what was the angle 2.92. I have this equation. जी अभी मैं इसको सॉल्व कर सकता हूँ या नहीं? अभी भी एक डाटा हमने इस्तेमाल नहीं किया. क्या था वो डाटा? हाँ, what was AW? कैसे? What was AW equal to? Height of the window multiplied by the width of the window. So can I use something over here? And what was the window area? Window area हमने यहाँ पीछे निकाला हुआ है 3 point कितना 0 point. अच्छा वो आप उसको वो पीछे कर रहे थे 3.924 3.924 into 10 raised to power minus 2 equal to G. Can you replace some value in these two equations? हाँ वाइंडिंग शामिल है. नहीं किसका? ये मैंने विंडो एरिया यूज किया है. मैंने पीछे क्या रखा था ये आप देखो यहाँ पे मेरे पास AI निकला था, मैंने AW निकाला था 1.25 टाइम्स AI जो कंडीशन थी. ठीक है, तो मैंने ये वाला 3.924 into 10 raised to power minus 2 है. So what I have now got that I have, this is first relation, you can call it equation number C, this is equation number D. Take out either HW or WW, put it inside the first relation, and from here you can find out WW or HW. Just do it just now. करो जरा इसको, मैं अटेंडेंस लेता हूँ इतनी देर में. You have these two equations. ठीक है, HW plus 1.84D equal to 2 times WW plus 2.92D. Second equation is this, that 3.924 into 10 raised to power minus 2 is equal to HW into WW. So you can take, supposingly, you can just take HW equal to 3.924 into 10 raised to power minus 2 divided by WW. Put this relation in equation number C and you can find out HW or WW. And the करो the rest, just two equations, just do this two. Okay. Section B today is 14, 10, 20. Fill number 66, 73, 35. हाँ पूरा लेक्चर गुजर गया, मैंने कहा शायद खुद ही शर्म आ जाएगी कि हम खुद लगाना है, इसलिए भी नहीं लगाया, क्योंकि मैंने नहीं लगानी आज आज तक। तुम्हारा क्या रोल नंबर है? 70। ये मैंने काट दी। मुझे ये इंस्ट्रक्शन है कि अटेंडेंस नहीं लगानी मार्क्स के वगैरह, वो तो बैठना भी नहीं है, लेकिन फिर मैंने बैठने दिया। 94 32 64 जी बेटा 56 जी बेटा रोल नंबर 51 06 54 05 जी। सॉल्व किया किसी ने अभी तक? ये क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन बनेगी और क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन के दो रूट्स बनेंगे। एक रूट नेगेटिव होगा जो कि पॉसिबल नहीं है इन अ रियल केस। क्या है आंसर, वो बताएगा जी। गिव मी द आंसर ऑफ एच डब्ल्यू और डब्ल्यू डब्ल्यू, दोनों बताने हैं आपने। प्लीज गिव मी द आंसर। Please do practice of these solved examples from 7.1 till 7. I guess this is 7.10. These are very very important because all of them are totally different from one each other. जी किसी के पास सोल्यूशन? चलो जो भी है मिले, कोई मसला नहीं। डब्ल्यू डब्ल्यू क्या है? 0.9193 मीटर। So this is 91.93 millimeter. And what about HW? ये इसके पुट कर दो ना सिंपल, 3.924। हाँ वो पुट कर दो। 0.4268। दोबारा 0.4268। This is meter, 426.8 meter. जी just check on this one. The height is 427 millimeter and the width is 91. So it is nearly 4. It is nearly. So height of the window divided by the window width is still 4. So it's still within the limits that we have just defined. And based on these two, you can find out your not the height of the overall transformer and the width over there. What was height equal to? That was HW plus HW plus 1.84 D, and W was equal to what was the equation? 2 times WW plus 2.92। जी ये दो वैल्यूज जरा सा बता दो मुझे, एच और डब्ल्यू व्हेन यू आर फ्री टू गो। Hmm. 0.5059 meters and so this is equal to 505.9 millimeters and the width 1.506 1510.6 millimeter. Please remember millimeter is actually a little bit industry. Laura? क्यों? हाँ यार बेटा ये क्या किया है? Are you sure? ये सेम होनी चाहिए थी, the height and the width सेम होनी चाहिए थी। ठीक है किया है? Please correct it. ठीक है, you don't have much time now. This is wrong, so please correct it. I don't know क्या गलती की है यहाँ, गलती की है आपने most probably। ठीक है जी, thank you. So this is just that.